You ever hear about a moment that changes everything in the blink of an eye? One day life seems normal, and the next, the world feels like it's split in two, between before and after. That's exactly what happened on March 22, 2020, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a day that no one involved would ever forget. Let me take you back. It started as an ordinary evening, a house party like many others. Laughter, music, and the kind of carefree energy that fills a room when people think they're safe, when they think nothing bad could happen. But in the midst of that normalcy, a young girl named Mela found herself in a situation no one should ever face. Mela was just 11 years old, bright, curious, full of life and innocence. She had the kind of energy that made people smile without even realizing it. She loved school, loved hanging out with friends, and had dreams that were just beginning to take shape. And like most kids her age, she trusted the adults around her to keep her safe. Here's the thing about trust, it's fragile. And on that night, it was betrayed. Jaime Sandoval-Gonzalez, a man significantly older than Mela, was at that same house party. What should have been a safe environment turned into a nightmare when he crossed a line that no adult ever should. He assaulted Mela in a way that shook the community and set off a chain of events that would bring him to justice. I want to be clear, I won't go into graphic detail, because the crime itself is horrific enough. But what matters here is the impact, the fear, the violation, the betrayal. Mela's life was disrupted, her sense of safety shattered. And it didn't stop there. The aftermath of this event would demand courage not just from her, but from everyone around her, including law enforcement, family, and community members determined to ensure that justice was served. The investigation began quickly. Law enforcement treated the case with the seriousness it demanded. Officers and detectives went to work methodically, gathering statements, reviewing any possible evidence, and piecing together the timeline of events. One of the first steps was interviewing Mela and her family, who bravely recounted what had happened despite the pain it caused them. Their honesty and courage were central to moving the case forward. The authorities then turned their attention to Sandoval-Gonzalez. His history, his whereabouts that night, and his interactions with Mela and others were all carefully examined. Investigators also collected physical evidence and corroborating testimonies from people at the party. Every detail mattered, every discrepancy had to be addressed. It was meticulous work, the kind that tests patience and resolve, but it was necessary to build a case strong enough to hold up in court. As the investigation unfolded, the community in Albuquerque was left in shock. Parents worried about their own children, neighbors whispered about what had happened, and news of the assault rippled through social media, triggering both outrage and sorrow. Yet amidst that fear, a sense of solidarity began to grow, a determination that this crime would not be forgotten, and that Mela's voice would be heard. When Sandoval-Gonzalez was finally arrested, it was a pivotal moment. Law enforcement knew the case was strong, but the legal process was just beginning. The prosecution prepared carefully, focusing on clarity and respect for the victim, knowing that the courtroom was where justice would ultimately be decided. Defense strategies emerged, and the trial process began, drawing attention not only from local media but from anyone concerned with the safety of children and the accountability of adults. In court, the details of the investigation were laid out step by step. Witnesses spoke, investigators testified, and evidence was presented. The proceedings were tense, emotional, and exhausting for everyone involved, especially Mela and her family. Yet through it all, they remained steadfast, determined to see the truth recognized and to prevent Sandoval-Gonzalez from harming anyone else. The trial ultimately ended with a verdict. Sandoval-Gonzalez was found guilty of assaulting Mela, a moment that marked a measure of justice for a young girl whose life had been violently interrupted. While no sentence can erase the trauma she endured, the legal outcome sent a clear message: actions have consequences, and the safety of children must never be compromised. Reflecting on Mela's story, what stands out most is her resilience. She endured something unimaginable, yet she survived, she spoke up, and she allowed justice to follow its course. Her bravery is a reminder of the strength children can have, and the responsibility adults must carry to protect them. Her story also underscores the importance of vigilance. Parents, communities, and law enforcement must remain alert, engaged, and unwavering when it comes to safeguarding the most vulnerable among us. This case, though tragic, also became a catalyst for awareness in Albuquerque. Discussions about child safety, the responsibilities of adults at social gatherings, and the systems in place to support victims have intensified. Mela's experience has helped inform parents, educators, and community leaders, reminding everyone that prevention, education, and intervention are vital. As we close this chapter, it's important to remember that true crime stories are never just about the criminal. They are about the victims, the survivors, and the communities affected. Mela's courage and the unwavering efforts of those who supported her serve as a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. She reminds us that even in the darkest moments, accountability is possible, justice can be achieved, and the voices of the young must always be protected. So as you think about this case, remember Mela not just as a victim, but as a young girl who faced something no child should ever face, and yet whose bravery ensured that the truth would not remain hidden. And let it remind us all to stay vigilant, to protect the innocent, and to speak up when justice is needed, because the actions we take or fail to take can change lives forever.